Well, hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. My name's Dave and this is Nomadic e-biking adventures. Today is October 3rd, 2024. Coming up on noontime here in Blanco, Texas. And today is my 1-year anniversary on my Jasion EB7 2.0 e-bike. I received this by FedEx about a year ago. Well, actually a year ago. On October 3rd. In Leesburg, Florida, where I was house sitting. Morning. How you doing?
Good, good.
And I had ordered it September 27th, so it came in record time compared to some of the times I've been hearing some people receiving their e-bikes nowadays. And I'm going to kind of pick my brain a little bit of all the major events, what's gone on with the bike since I received it. And I did a search just before I left here just to see what the current price is on it. I had purchased this bike last year, tax included, for $819. And I was able to spread the payments out to $204 every 2 weeks. Through Klarna. And I really, I mean, that it was an option that was given to me at checkout time, and it's interest free. And I thought that kind of fit my situation pretty good, because this was a major purchase. So $819 including the tax a year ago, and I just looked it up. If I order the exact same bike again, it would be $48 more this year. How you doing? UPS guy. So I'm not going to tell you how many miles I have on this, because I thought it'd be kind of a neat little game to play. If you want to take a stab on how many miles I have on this bike after today's ride, drop your drop your answer in the comments, and we'll see who gets the closest. So one of the interesting deals that I found out since I received this bike in Florida, I was wondering how many different states I've been in, since I'm a traveling nomad doing house sitting and whatnot. So I get to travel a lot and check out trails and subdivisions and cities that I can go to. And I'm going to start rambling them off, and I believe I'm going to get them all. But obviously we start out in Florida. Then there's Texas. We've been in Oklahoma. We've been in Missouri. We've also been in Wisconsin, Minnesota, Idaho, Utah, I think if I missed any. Don't believe so. I think that should wrap up most of the states that I've been in. Nope, I take it back. We've been in Kentucky. And I don't know if I mentioned Missouri. I think I did. But we've been in Missouri. Well, we're not going to go down there today. They're kind of finishing up that demolition of that house. We got a big truck blocking the way. Let's see, what other notables on the Jasion bike, e-bike. We've replaced the rear tire and inner tube 5 times. How you doing? And we replaced the front tire and inner tube 1 time. The front one we only replaced because it was worn out. The rear ones we had to replace because we had blowouts or flats. I've replaced 7 spokes. I've replaced this Shimano gear controller, not because it failed, but because one day I left the bike standing at the back door and a gust of wind came during a thunderstorm and knocked the bike over, and it fell right on the controller, so it smashed the controller, so I had to replace that. I've replaced the brake pads. Let's see, what else? I've purchased a second battery so I can extend my trips. I'm thinking about even getting a third, but they are very expensive. I think they were like $319 for a battery. And I've seen them popping up on Marketplace every once in a while. So we may just search around for that and see if we can pick up a deal that way. Accessories? I don't know. My two biggest purchases since I started doing vlogging of my e-bike rides are the two GoPros and the batteries. I think I started out originally with just my iPhone. Kind of ironic, I'm using my iPhone for my facial picture today and the audio using my exterior lavalier mic. Well, looks like everybody's golfing pretty good today, and even the pool looks kind of busy today too. Oh, it's a aqua size class. So other purchases that I've done over the past few months and stuff. Well, let's see what else. I think other little trinkets and things to try. I've added turn signals. Added a, it came with a horn, but I added a little bell for trail riding, so it's the horn's not as obnoxious. I don't know how many hundreds of dollars I've spent for accessories. And a lot of them have been trial and error. I'll try it. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But I used to use the iPhone for most of my recording, you know, and then I got into the gimbals, and that still wasn't working. And I finally broke down and got the GoPro, and just amazing. If I go back to some of the original videos, I thought, shit, how could people watch this stuff? But anyway, it's been a good bike. For me, like I say, I'm nomadic. And I wanted something that can be folded up. I found this one. It folds up really nice into my Chevy Malibu. So I've learned to fold it, unfold it, pack it up within, oh geez, only taking about 5-10 minutes at the most. So I'll tell you my little story of how I got into e-biking. I was in Florida, and I was, as you know, I do another channel called Nomadic Trail Cameras. And check these deer out on the side here. Don't move very fast. Yeah, so I was doing my channel on nomadic e-bike or nomadic trail cameras, and I got into the nature preserve near Davenport, Florida, and I pulled into the parking lot and the gate was open. So I didn't, you know, it's a pay-per-use location, but I went in there. It was I think it was a Saturday, so I thought, well, maybe it's open on Saturdays or something like that. But anyways, I went back there, drove back to some swamp and set up my camera in the swamp, and I was planning on, since I was going to be in the area, I would visit the location to replenish deer corn. But the next time I went in to use the road, the gate was closed and locked. And so it was during the week. I said, well, maybe it's on the weekend it's open. So I went back there on the weekend, and it was still closed up. So I said, and this, where I set this camera up, it was like 3 miles in off the parking lot. So I was almost going to just write it off, you know, as a not being able to collect my trail camera. But I was getting some really good pictures, some nice bucks walking out of the swamp. And I'm going to hit this road on the way back. It's just a lot easier to walk, to use it. So that 3 miles going in to get my camera was the reason I was going to do it, because I wasn't going to go walking at that time 3 miles in and 3 miles back with a backpack. That would have taken me probably about 5 hours. And after I got this bike, that was one of the first locations that I was able to use it for its intended use, to check on my trail cams. And instead of the possible 5 hours of walking, I think it was like 15-20 minutes at the most, back and forth. Big difference. So that in itself is paid for the bike. And since I've had this bike, it's just been a godsend, you know, to explore new cities, new trails, and open it up, you know, to showing other people, you know, what is available out there to those that want to go e-biking. So again, drop your comment down. Take a guess how many miles I'm going to end up with at the end of this ride for my first year on my e-bike. I had one goal to possibly hit, and I'll let you know I fell short, but it's not because of anything. It's just I almost hit it. I came very close, but this bike has been so good. I'm glad I got this style, because I've done a lot of off-road or trail riding that wasn't paved trails, so the knobby tires and that type of stuff came in handy. I would say I've been doing about maybe 60% paved and 40% gravel or unpaved surfaces. I've learned a lot over the past year, especially how to replace a tire on the rear tire of the e-bike. And when I did the front one, it was a piece of cake. I mean, I had that thing done in probably in about 15-20 minutes. Nothing to it. The back one's fairly easy. It just takes you got to be careful. That's all I can say. Mainly because you're dealing with unplugging and plugging in the control cable that goes to the motor in the rear hub. So this the motor is 750 watts, and I think it has a max of 950 or 1,000. Forgot which one it was. So it's been really good for the areas that I've been going, and I don't have a lot of hills to conquer. But if I were in different parts of the country and just staying there, I would probably opt for a stronger motor, and maybe even a dual motor. But hell, when I first bought this, I bought it for price. Price and convenience. And as you can see, I mentioned the price. I bought it outright today. It's only been like $48 more. I'm still going back and forth on trying to figure out weight limitations on this thing. I could swear the literature that was when I first bought this, the literature was quoting 300 pounds. And that would probably be including cargo and whatnot. So at the time when I first was using this, I was 280. And then with the cargo that I was using, I was over 300. And since then, nothing's really been failing because of that. I'm sure they have a safety weight, and that's what they listed as, because the same one that I got now, it lists 350 to 400. So either they've improved on the frame to change that weight limitation, or I just maybe misread it, last year's brochure. So am I gonna change out my bike? Probably not. It's been suiting me just fine. Nothing's major's gone wrong with it. It's been really an easy bike for me to haul around. Like I say, I enjoy getting out there. I mean, you get to see places that you normally wouldn't see, and you can basically get out there on any roadway, just like we're doing today, and make a trail out of it. Now, there's only been one time that I've had a crash on this thing. I mean, I've had times where they say that the best time for you to take a spill is when you're stopping or going or starting up. And I took a couple tumbles, but it was mostly in the woods when I was getting off, not on my bike. But I only had that one crash in Little Rock, where Lord knows what happened that day. I veered off the path, the paved path, and went right into some thorns and thickets. All right, let's go up this way. So we're at 30 minutes and 7.8 miles. Beautiful day today. It's in the mid 80s, a little bit of a breeze, and we do have some clouds in the sky. Partly cloudy, or partly sunny, however you want to look at it. Yeah, this bike has been a workhorse. I can remember when I was camping in Florida, I was using the rear basket to collect firewood, and I know for sure that the capacity was was in question. But that was only for a short distance, so no biggie. Speed on the bike, I'm comfortable with what I'm getting out of it. We were just hitting 20 miles an hour here, and for the area that I go through and visit, I think this 20 miles an hour is just fine. You know, I don't think I want to be going any more than that. Just knowing that you're seconds away from catastrophic failure, and taking a spill on these bikes, there's no room for error. So I routinely get up to 20. I would say 75% of the time I pedal. But I'm not gonna lie, I mean it's great for a makeshift moped. Battery life on it, depending on terrain, condition, how much I'm pedaling and everything. Ooh, watch out, deer. Scared those suckers. That's the other thing I gotta watch out. This thing would not fare very good with a deer hit. And there's a ton of deer around here. So yeah, I get up to 20 miles an hour on this thing, no problem. It's a class 2, so that's expected. If I go down a hill and pedal, I think my fastest that I've gone is 35 miles an hour. And I'm not, when I hit 35, I mean, myself personally, I get a little bit skittish, especially if I'm in a new area where I don't know the potholes or what's coming up. I'm not gonna be going that fast anyway. Oh, battery life. Depending on terrain and conditions and everything, it's been ranging anywhere from 15 to 22 miles. I think the best miles you're going to get is on paved surfaces and non-stop conditions, where you don't have to slow down for stop signs, curves. You know, you can stay running at the same speed. It seems that you'll get better performance out of your batteries. And this original battery they came with this is only a 10 amp hour. So if you want to do any type of e-biking longer than an hour, or yeah, about an hour, seems like that's about as long as you can go on one battery. So that's why I got the second battery, just to increase that miles in time. So the longest that I've been on 2 batteries without it running dry has been a little over 2 hours, and just, I believe it was like 36 miles. And that was still pretty good because that was in a city setting. But there were a lot of places that I went cruising on there that allowed you to stay off the brake. So possible upgrades for in the future. I'm looking to possibly get a 3rd battery. I'm looking to upgrade to maybe hydraulic brakes. I've been hearing good things about that. The little shock absorber between the front and back frames. I mean, it's not that big of a deal. Let's see, I gotta go this way. The other thing that I would probably get is maybe these steel belted tire inserts, just to prevent flats, but they are pretty expensive. I think they're like 80 bucks. And I'll probably just get one for the rear because the rear has been the one that's been blowing out. The bike itself, I weighed it one time using unofficially my bathroom scale. With it fully loaded, I think the front was the lightest, obviously. It was like 23 pounds. And then weighed the rear and added the 2 together. It came up with about 55 pounds. I'm just gonna stop here and get a drink of water. So the bike itself, even if you take out the battery, I can't remember if I left it in or not. I think I took it out. But the bike is fairly lightweight. It's easy to load in and out of the trunk when it's folded. But wow, this whole block that I just went through, everybody's got their garage door open. You usually don't see that too much. So once again, leave a comment of what you think the mileage, the odometer reading is going to be at the end of the trip here. What does the coming year look like? Well, coming next month I start heading to Florida. In fact, by this time, November 7th, start heading down to Florida until May, the end of May. And again, all this is doing house sitting. Oh, one thing I was going to tell you too, I had a guy that came over, he knew the owners, and the owner said, yeah, go ahead. He needed to put some deer meat in the freezer. He was getting a new freezer or something. So anyways, he I guess he owns a ranch further to the north or west or something like that, and he had shot some axis deer, and so that was most of the meat that he had from the butcher, was axis deer. So he gave me a couple packs of hamburger, axis hamburger. So it'll be interesting. I'm going to have some, make something with it. I may end up mixing that with some pork sausage, because I understand that the axis deer is a little bit drier. It's a drier venison. But yeah, that was neat. And I finally got a axis buck on one of my trail cameras this morning, right at sunrise. Not overly huge, and they don't have a lot of tines that branch out like the whitetail do. They kind of have just more spears. And what I counted on as I blew up the picture to kind of look at it a little bit closer, I counted 7, so it looked like he was a 7-pointer. So that was kind of exciting to see an axis buck finally. So I sent the picture over to the owners. They're cruising in Greece, and they said, we've never seen a axis buck. I says, well, finally one decided to show his face. So that was exciting. So I'm hoping that they that he kind of keeps shining around there, because he was kind of a neat deal to see him. I've got several different shots of him from the different cameras I got back there, and the access bucks look nasty. They got a mean face on them, it seems like. Keep on hearing those beeps, but I think there's a excavator or something working over there on a new piece of property that I saw yesterday being opened up. Yeah, let's go down this way. I'm trying to gradually lengthen out my daily trips. I think we were just over 15 miles yesterday. But I was trying to make it fast enough where I'm not out there for 2 hours either. So we're at 12 miles, 48 minutes, and we're down to 1 bar. So I may have to find a location. Yesterday I think it went out at 13 something. Now I think I want to find something in here pretty quick. Just trying to see if I can find something with some shade on it. Off the beaten path a little bit. Turn in where that UPS truck is turning in. Nobody behind me. I say we're almost back We've got probably another 10-15 minutes, but I think I'm gonna have to switch this thing out before that. I mean, we made it probably within about a half mile of the house yesterday. I think we'll go to the top of the hill here. Maybe we'll switch her out right here. We're kind of out of the way of everything. And we should be good. Well, we made it almost 13 miles. 52 minutes on the bike. So yeah, I guess the only thing I could change it is if I had a longer lasting battery. As you can see there, that's 13 miles on that battery. If I add another battery, that's 11 more pounds. And I've got a good way to do that, is to get myself to lose 11 pounds. Then we would be still in the same boat. So that's a possibility. And once again, leave a comment of what you think the final odometer reading is going to be at the end of today's ride, which will be our 1-year anniversary. Yeah, so I've learned a lot in 1 year. All little tricks and trades. Well, I finally drove down here yesterday afternoon to pick up the mail. It was packed. I'll probably take a run down here next time and collect the mail. Since there was so much, if I picked it up now, I'd have to throw it inside the rear basket, and the rear basket's full to begin with, so I haven't decided whether or not I'm going to get on 281 and take a trip into Blanco. Let me know if you want me to take a ride into town. It's like I think about a 4-mile ride. So I would probably be leaving right from the house and heading right on 281 and then coming back. Maybe just take it a trip around town a little bit and then come back. That's all I can do basically. So if it's 4 miles down there, that's 8 miles just traversing. That should be plenty. I generally would like to keep it like a 10-mile buffer on the battery. So like for instance, if I went 13 miles on this battery, that means total, if the other battery is the same tolerances and everything, because they do vary from different, so that would be 26 miles that I want to, but I generally want to keep like a 10-mile buffer. So I would only really like to do it. That wouldn't make sense there. And see, that's where that third battery would come into play, because that would boost my potential up to 40 miles. And some of you people that have bigger batteries, you can easily do over 50 miles on one charge. Well, you got to remember, this bike is not a big bike, and it doesn't have a big battery. It's a 10 amp hour battery, so I think it's more like a little over. Where are my doggies today? They're not out. So generally, I think it's like, this is a 10 amp hour and it just gave me 13 miles on that 10 amp hour battery. Now it can deviate from that and change a little bit. Just passing 1 hour and 15.3 miles. Thinking about that access buck that came by this morning. My little Wally dog. It was still dark out at 7 o'clock. She went racing out the back door to the fence where that deer feeder is and where that access buck was on the camera. And she was barking her head off, and normally she doesn't bark at the deer, but it seems like she's barking every time there's a buck there. So that's good. As a buck dog, she barks at all the big deer that show up, because she barked at that 11 pointer, that whitetail. I don't know if she sees that extra headdress up there and doesn't like it or what, but she's been barking at the bucks, and I'm glad she did, because then I can kind of jump up and see what's going on. He gets a lot of deer coming to that deer feeder. I think the last time I counted one was like 25 deer, and the axis deer are mixed in there too, and they really don't care about each other. And I don't think there's a lot of crossbreeding going on. I haven't seen any weird looking deer, so of course I think they come in different cycles too, so if you didn't know, like the whitetails usually start shedding their antlers in towards the end of the year, especially down here in Texas. They'll start shedding their antlers oh, that's a sign, in January. And the access deer will start shedding their antlers in July, I think it is. So really weird. It's almost like completely opposite. And I did find one shed at my old house of a access deer. It wasn't a very big one, not a very big buck. That particular group that was by my house, there were 6 bucks. And they ranged anywhere from just a little 2-pointer all the way up, but I think the biggest one that was there was almost a 12 pointer access buck. Alright, so once again, leave a comment if you made it this far, and let me know what you think the odometer reading is going to be. And it's too bad I don't have my helmet on, because you could probably sneak a peek at what it is. Looks like we got it to almost 28 miles an hour coming down that hill. Alright guys, once again, leave a comment and let me know what the odometer reading is here. We're coming up to the house now. And I appreciate you coming along for the ride today, the 1-year anniversary of my e-bike. Till tomorrow. Adios.